Spoiler alert. Hey, welcome to the GNAPcast. My name is David.
And my name is Seth, and we're back here with our special guest, Cassie.
Hey, Cassie.
Hi, guys.
All right, so once again, we have a random question for you just before we start things off.
What is your favorite color to paint your toenails?
Ooh.
My toenail.
Yes, specifically your toenails.
Specifically the toenails. Okay. Let's see. I have two colors that I usually paint on my toenails. Two colors. One is a plum color.
Interesting.
And then another is an actual, like, rose shade. It's like a darker colored rose. So it's like a pinkish. I don't know how to describe it, actually.
Do you like that one better or worse than plum?
Well, I like them both.
Oh,
So yeah. So
Fair
I mean,
enough.
it's
That
like
works.
a pinkish color, but it's not like really pink. It's just like a subtle
Like a
pink.
salmon,
It's a subtle
maybe?
pink.
Not
quite
salmon.
a
Still more
salmon.
pink than salmon. So like
Kind of a mix in between there. Is it almost like skin color, maybe?
no, it's like a blush. There we
Okay.
go.
Oh, there
there
we
we
go.
go.
Okay. All right, and then once again, we'll let you ask either or both of us any question you'd like before we launch into things.
Except, we're already both in Slytherin. You can't ask that one again.
Unfortunately.
Darn. There it goes. Okay. Well, to keep with the Slytherin house, who was your favorite Harry Potter professor? The Hogwarts professor.
Favorite professor? Ooh.
Ooh.
A good question. I'm going to let you answer this one first, Seth.
Wow, there's so many to choose from, though. He was only professor for 1 year. I think I still have to go with Remus Lupin.
He was a good professor.
He was a
I
great
really like that.
professor.
Mm,
You know, I'm going to have to go with the books on this one, I think. My favorite professor, not the original portrayal of Mad-Eye Moody, because that wasn't actually Mad-Eye Moody, but how Mad-Eye Moody is portrayed later is just an awesome character. So I'm going to have to go with Mad-Eye Moody, the actual character, not like the portrayal of him with the potion that the other character used.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to go with that one. But, all right, so we're going to go ahead and launch into our podcast. And our question for the day is, what are some of our favorite moments from the Harry Potter movies specifically? Things we liked that they did maybe very well from the books, or just things that we really liked about the movies themselves?
So I actually have one that I have to be honest and say I was kind of surprised that they did, and it's right at the end of Deathly Hallows.
Okay, the
Is-
first or second?
The second part.
Second part.
And that is Harry breaking the Elder Wand.
Yeah.
Okay, and you really, really liked that.
I was surprised by it because it seemed kind of wasteful.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see
Like,
that.
I understand why he did it in the movie, even though he didn't in the books. But it still seemed kind of an odd choice.
Well, honestly, it kind of made more sense for him to break the wand because this wand was at the center of the first Wizarding War as well with
True.
Grindelwald.
And having it around is just a huge conflict anyways.
Yeah, so he kind of invites a third Wizarding War eventually, if possible. So, but yeah.
true.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts from the movies, which I've mentioned to you both before, not on the podcast though, is the flashbacks. Spoiler alert! I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, oh,
massive,
gosh.
massive
Massive
spoilers.
spoilers.
We should have
Massive
said that a lot earlier.
Let me insert this before. Spoiler alert. All right, so if you heard that way before, we just inserted it from now. Okay. But one of my favorite parts, which I was looking forward to because I knew that they had to do it, was in the middle of the second part of Deathly Hallows, the flashback scene with Snape.
No.
Exactly. But it was so good. Like, I had chills the entire time while watching that scene. I knew it was supposed to happen. I knew how they were kind of going to do it. I just didn't know what they were going to do specifically. And I was like, this could either be really good or it could just flop. And it was really good. I liked it. I love how they set everything up.
I did too, although it did raise a major question for me.
Okay.
Why did Lily still end up with James?
Yeah.
I don't think they
yeah.
really addressed that as
That's-
much in the movies, I guess.
No.
I don't think they
they
addressed
really-
that at all.
They don't address it at all in the movies.
Okay. I guess they
really
expect you to have read the books by that point or something.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, I mean, I could go off on that. Like
You can.
right
Go
now.
ahead.
Okay, so the
Would
thing.
you like a soapbox?
No, you can just
Yes,
stand in front
please.
of a microphone.
All the soapboxes. Anyways, so the thing with it was an absolute betrayal what Snape did to Lily. It was like the absolute low of lows, and she never really forgave him for it, really, like 100%. Plus, by that point, Snape had chosen his loyalties to the Dark Lord, and then it wasn't until like he found out that Lily was pregnant and their child was possibly a part of the prophecy that he was like, no, this was a bad decision. And he went to the Dark Lord and was like, hey, can you kind of not kill my crush?
That is what happened.
That is what happened. So it was kind of more of at that point, Snape had chosen his loyalties and did become a Death Eater and follow Voldemort. So,
but only kind of half-heartedly, though.
Only half-heartedly, but Lily didn't really know that.
Right.
So Lily kind of, and James kind of, and the Marauders kind of enveloped her and that sort of thing and kind of got her out of that situation. So she didn't really have an option to forgive him and that sort of thing. But that was probably because James and them didn't really like Snape at all to begin with. So I'm not even going to approach that. So
there's whole sections of the books.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just she didn't really have the time to forgive him and like come to terms with that. And by the point that Snape was actually 100% against Voldemort, and became a double agent, like Lily was already married and pregnant and that sort of thing. So by that point, it was too late.
Right.
It's so much worse when you say it like that.
I know. Trust me.
That's how it works.
I know.
All right. What would you say, Cassie, was one of your favorite parts of the movies, of any of the movies?
Okay. I really like. Now, this is probably going to sound really weird, but I really like how they were able to portray Hermione's torture scene. Like, that was just an emotionally heavy scene anyway, and they did a really good job with it, considering, like, the actors and that sort of thing, and how hard it can be on the actors to do something like that.
Now, remind me again, that's from Deathly Hallows Part 1?
Part 1, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Now, my problem is I did watch all of them, but I watched them all, like, in a row over the course of about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember specifically.
It's at Malfoy.
Know.
They got captured by the Snatchers and got taken to Malfoy Manor. And
is this where Bellatrix?
Bellatrix,
okay.
yeah. This is, that's the only torture scene.
I think so.
Really?
I mean, Filch talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever did.
He doesn't
though.
ever actually torture anyone.
Yeah.
He was all talk and no wand. That's not right.
All
talk
he
and
was
no
a
magic.
squib, so.
I was going to say.
Oh, that's true.
So he couldn't exactly do anything. But yeah, no, that was like the only real torture scene that they had even in the books, I think, too. So it was
well, they did reference some in the books, such as Neville's
parents. They referenced a lot, but they
Yeah.
didn't show it. And I think showing it what really made the gravity of the situation come to light.
Would you say that's your favorite part, or just the part?
No,
you really
I just
liked?
really liked it.
Okay.
No, it definitely wasn't my favorite.
Oh, I love the part where Hermione gets tortured. Now you
that's
sound
my
like
favorite.
a Slytherin.
No, I sound like a Slytherin. Technically, it's my secondary house.
She just wants to empathize with Hermione's pain.
I just have a lot of feelings, guys.
My secondary house is Ravenclaw.
I don't even know what mine is. I have to go back and check the test again. Been too long. All right. And so another favorite part that I really liked from the movies is frankly just the entire third movie. That's probably one of my favorite parts. Like, it was really well directed. I liked the acting in it. I liked how everything was portrayed. A lot of people have issues with the time traveling paradox part of it, but I like how they did that.
It's time travel. Anytime you mess with time travel, it's going to get goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be a paradox somewhere or something changing somewhere, but I liked how they did it. They set it up one way, and I'm like, well, if that's how it's going to happen, when we see them go through this again like they did in the books, we're going to have to see these visuals from a different angle and see what actually happened.
Yep.
And I was afraid that they were going to change things and have it actually not be what happened before, but everything happened the same, just from a different angle, and we could see what actually happened. And I really liked how they did that.
That scene, or that sequence of scenes was very well done.
I did like that. The only thing I didn't like is that when Hermione, like on the second time through, when Hermione throws the rock and hits Harry in the back of the head, he rubs the back of his head and says, "Ow, that hurt," as opposed to, "Oh, that's what that was," or something much more natural than, "Oh, that hurt. I'm only just now feeling pain now," or something like that.
More like, "Hey, that hurt, Hermione. Why'd you have to do it so hard?"
I understood why you did that, but still, how dare you?
Stop throwing rocks at my head.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments, again, was from Deathly Hallows Part 2, and it's Molly Weasley. And
Oh,
not
yeah.
my daughter.
Absolutely. I feel like they threw
Yes.
that in specifically for the fans. Like, I don't even know if that was originally like scripted in it, but they added some. I don't remember for sure.
I think it's also in the book.
Yeah.
It is in the. Though at that point, I think people. I feel like J.K. Rowling, having written the first however many books and getting the response for Molly Weasley, had to write her in that way, or else it would have been doing like a disservice.
Well,
Yeah.
it totally makes sense for her character, though.
I
Just-
know.
She's like the ultimate mom.
and she goes full Mama Bear.
Yeah.
On
I feel like
Bellatrix.
I feel like enough people were demanding it by that point, anyways, that she had to put it in. I really hope she was going to, anyways. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, that makes perfect sense. It works, and everything is much the better for it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Did she take out a Death Eater? Was it?
Yeah, she killed Bellatrix.
She killed Bellatrix
Oh,
Lestrange.
it was
like,
Bellatrix.
Straight up.
She straight up killed Bellatrix, who is arguably one of the most powerful witches on Voldemort's side at that point.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then just takes her out completely.
Yep.
I'm getting distracted because the last movie I watched that I can remember was Les Mis, where the character who plays Bellatrix was also one of the
Alina
the
Bonham
Thenards.
Carter.
right, the Thenardiers.
The
in-
Thenardiers, yeah.
like, was one of the Thenardiers, and I was like, I recognize this actress from some. Oh, that's Bellatrix.
No,
And I
that's
got
Bellatrix.
completely sidetracked
Oh,
throughout the rest of the movie.
Bellatrix.
It's like, Bellatrix, what are you swindling things now? Yeah.
Well,
Oh man.
You're still on the side of evil.
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Do you have any other moments that you just really jump out at you, Cassie? Like favorite parts?
I liked Hermione punching Draco. I like that it was an actual punch because I think in the books it was like a slap or something like that, or was it a punch? I can't remember.
Are we talking? This is in.
This is in Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
I think she slaps him in the
Yeah,
book. I
she
do
slaps
remember
him in the
that
book,
scene.
and she punches him in the movie. I'm glad it was a punch because he definitely deserved a punch.
He always deserves getting punched
Now,
in the
That
face.
is true.
Remind me again, where does that happen?
That happens outside the Shrieking Shack.
No, it's outside of Hagrid's hut while they were, because Draco and his cronies were watching. They were like, "Ooh, the hippogriff's gonna get it!" Like what? And then then Hermione's like, no, you don't."
And you know this is a good scene when someone like Cassie is saying this is great because we both know, you might not know, but we both know that Cassie is one of the few people who ships Draco and Hermione.
Yes.
Oh no!
My secret is out.
And yet, she still likes the scene where Hermione punches Draco in the
Such
face.
character development. Though. Like, I am a
The writer
sucker.
in you is in conflict with the Hufflepuff in you.
Oh no, I am a sucker for some like enemies to friends to like lovers ships. Like that is like my jam right there. I'm all about that. I could give you about 5 other ships like that. I'm totally like on. Now,
Fair
granted,
enough.
none of them are canon, but you know.
All right. Unfortunately, we don't have time for such things. We'll have to talk about this off the mic. But we're going to
Oh.
go ahead and we're going to wrap up this episode pretty quick here. So, once again, Cassie, if you'll give us a random note, we will try to harmonize and we will say goodbye on whatever note you pick. You have 12 actual options.
Well, 11 because you already picked one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. You
The
can't,
last time
you
we
can't,
had you back.
you can't
Okay.
give us an F this time.
Oh darn.
Oh, no.
How about a B?
A B. All right. So, we'll give you, how about you go with B3, just below middle C, and I'll go with an F sharp below it, and we'll try to harmonize on that chord. So, ready?
Ooh.
Goodbye.